Welcome MTO family, welcome back here to the live stream and today's AMA. Today is the 8th of January and we just want to go through some of the questions that you guys have asked, on the Telegram group and such, and you will be also able to ask questions and most importantly, if there are any questions that I cannot answer, I will, refer back to the developers and, go back to you with a project update next week. So stay tuned for that as well. Something I really want to apologize, before we even start. My son is around, so just if you hear any noises, just apologies for that in advance. Now, I am on the chat on the YouTube. And I'm already banning someone. Like, seriously? Oh my gosh. Like, what a welcome. So yeah, basically that's kind of like what I will be doing today. So if you have any questions, just put them in the comments there on the chat, and I will be replying that to you. It's going to be a very casual AMA. I don't have anything big planned. I'm just going to go and review a few of the things that we're working on right now, just to clarify some things. So the first thing is, if you see my screen, I'm sharing the screen, is because I want to talk about as well a bit of the plans and clarify some ideas and talk about what are the plans about social media kind of like in interaction as well. So So we have something I wanted to show you guys is this video here. I got some people talking about us not being able to do promotions through YouTube or Google AdSense. Some people were concerned that we will not be able to do that. So I went and started a campaign for this video. I mean, I know YouTube has some concerns when it comes to crypto and certain videos promoting certain crypto projects. However, if you see here, I literally started a campaign, advertising campaign. I think it was like yesterday or the day before, and we got 412 views in the last 48 hours. 96.6% are coming from YouTube advertising. So, and this is the video that explains the merchant protocol. So this is what I mean, that we will be doing advertisement through YouTube and Google, because I will be getting, so we're working on, sorry, we're working on making some detailed videos on how do you buy MTOs on Uniswap, how do you buy on Whitebit, how do you buy on Bitrue. Literally for every single exchange we're gonna make a video as well. We're gonna kind of like do more videos like this, explainer basically on what the merchant protocol is, but a bit more in depth to make things easier for everybody and get people interested in the project. And we're gonna be promoting it with YouTube and Google advertising. Something really important that I want to see, that I want to say, and I want you guys to understand, is that it doesn't matter how many people actually watch the video straight away. We want to, what we want for you guys to help us, for instance, on YouTube, and this is just YouTube, but the same works on Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere else where we'll be doing campaigns, is the amount of impressions. So by you having by you going and clicking on the links that YouTube shows you about MTO, and by you watching the videos as long as possible, those videos are gonna get promoted to other people that watch similar content. And that's when we get a high then impression rate. And then we have the click-through rate, which as you can see is 29.4%. And then you have the views. So that means that we are not only reaching our community, but we are also going outside of our community. And this is, guys, something that you guys can do, can help out by simply watching the video. You know, by you now, we have 17 viewers, which again, I want to clarify that we don't need hundreds of thousands of viewers. We just need people who watch completely, for instance, the live streams and all these things. We have the live stream last time, which the MVP, if you remember, we didn't had hundreds of people in there, but we already got over 1,800 views. I think we were up to the 2,300, if I'm not mistaken. Here, 2,313 views we have here. So, and the reason for that is because the more people watch it or for longer, the more YouTube will see that people are enjoying that video and are going to promote it to others. So yes, out of that 2,300 are part, like the majority are the community members, but we also have potential new token holders in there that could, you know, like the project because they watch a video and invest in MTO and buy some MTO as well. And that's one of the reasons why we are going to be focusing on YouTube as well a lot. In the meantime, I'm going to be reading the questions that I have here. Horacio Raviolo, despite marketing campaign, we haven't even started the marketing campaign. If you go and check the pinned messages on Telegram, the marketing campaign is going to start on Monday the 10th, which is going to start very low or very slow at the moment because the market is literally bleeding outside. So I don't really expect not many people to invest. We literally, what I will be doing is I will be targeting niches because those are the investors, crypto investors, current people that are already investing in crypto markets, that know how it works, understand that this is the cheapest price to buy MTO, or if it's not the cheapest, one of the cheapest, and they will jump in. But I don't expect to have that much conversion in right now's market, in today's market. Horacio, we are actually going to do some prices as well to do that. But again, I want to clarify, we haven't even started any sort of marketing. I will not even call it marketing. I will call it awareness campaign. Branislaw Winter, yes, that's exactly what we're working on. The idea is to simplify what merchant token is to simplify what the MVP is, post it on YouTube for you guys to watch and for new potential token holders to, you know, buy more tokens and get interested into the overall project overall. Horacio Raviolo, again, we can try to, that's actually one of the problems, that there is no other project currently that we can refer to. Yes, there are some projects that are on the finance space that are trying to solve payments, but nobody's actually trying to work on consumer protection. And that's our goal. And not only that, but consumer protection decentralized. We have seen, like, for instance, I get messages, oh, Utrust is working on something similar, centralized. PayPal is going to come back with his own currency, centralized. This other one, centralized. So everything is centralized. If you were to do something centralized, it would be a ton easier for us to do because we just need to create, you know, copy a blockchain and then just launch, basically. But what we're trying to do is to bring the real decentralization into the day-to-day purchasing of any product and give consumer protection to those customers that wants to buy. And I really keep aiming to this. When Bitcoin was launched, people were saying, oh, why this is a scam because nobody's behind it. There is nobody that we can point the finger at, which is true, but that's actually kind of like the point. Decentralization is not having just one person behind, but have a whole community behind. And you cannot point the finger directly to one person, but there is no one person that can benefit from doing something, because again, it has to go against all the community itself. And the bigger it grows, the easier it will become for this to stop being stop being able to be manipulated, and most importantly to give that consumer protection in the decentralized world. And what we have seen right now is that the only ways that Bitcoin or Ethereum or other cryptocurrencies that are decentralized are being used in the physical world are being used through a centralized entity, such as, just to give an example, crypto.com has a credit card, yes, sorry, a debit card, but they are centralized. So it's the same thing as saying, I'm going to send my bank Bitcoin, they're going to convert it into fiat, and I'm going to pay something. What's the whole point of Bitcoin then? It doesn't make sense. You're still managing your money through the bank or through crypto, which is regulated by the government, and it's the same thing. So what we're trying to do here is that everything will go directly through your wallet, which eventually we're going to come up with a wallet similar to MetaMask or Trust Wallet, where you will be able to read the blockchain from that. Remember, these kind of wallets, they do not hold your tokens. Your tokens are on the blockchain. It's the same thing on MetaMask. You don't have the tokens on MetaMask. The tokens are on the blockchain. MetaMask is just reading the blockchain and showing you what is in there. So once that wallet is available, then you will be able to use payments directly through the blockchain, not through a centralized entity. And it's the same thing what John was talking the other day. We are planning, or we wish to have our own card eventually. And that card will not be a centralized card. It will not be in a centralized entity or controlled by anyone. It will be directly on the blockchain. And that's what is very important for everybody to understand. Because yes, there are other projects that are trying to do something similar, but they use conventional methods. And it's easier in that sense to get certain, to attack certain markets. When we are trying to do something decentralized, in that sense, we need to also make sure that we work around the laws and all the bureaucracy that is around as well. Hello, do you know when MTO will be available on a major exchange? Olivier, Basil, what do you consider a major exchange? That's my question to you, but in the meantime, what I can say is that we are working on having MTO listed on Hotbit by the end of the month. Then next month, we are hoping to get it listed on Bittrex or Bitrex, whatever you want to call it. Both exchanges are global exchanges. Bitrex is basically one of the biggest, I would say, in Europe. It is a global exchange as well, and it is one of the most regulated exchanges out there. One of the safest exchanges out there, and the oldest exchanges out there as well. If you want to compare about volume, it is quite hard to determine what exchange is actually a big exchange by volume, because some exchanges use automatic market makers, which go there and sell and buy and sell and buy and sell and buy. When you have 5,000-10,000 tokens doing the same thing, basically you have a volume which is not real, and they declare that volume to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, and they get different tiers there. But the idea is that once we have done those two listing exchanges, we really hope that including the awareness campaign that we're doing right now, we're going to get involved influencers. We're going to do, as I was saying, YouTube campaigns, Google campaigns. We're going to get one very, very big influencer. We're talking about 700,000 subscribers plus. We're trying to get someone with over 1 million subscribers, and see if by getting our project there, we will actually get the exposure that we are looking for. And if by doing all of that, including the exchanges, we are going to get basically more volume, then at that point it will be easier for us to get listed in bigger exchanges. When you talk about major exchanges, I'm assuming at this point you're talking about KuCoin or Gate.io or something like that, or Bitfinex, and we're aiming to get listed in there. We just need to meet the requirements, which they never told us what we don't meet. But we hope we think that the reason why we don't meet certain requirements is volume. So once we increase the volume, once we increase the amount of holders that we have, and we improve the overall community, sentiment of the community, then we hope that those exchanges are gonna want us in there as well. So I'm expecting, to be honest, by the end of the year, if everything goes well. And guys, I want to say I'm not pointing. I'm not putting a pin in this because it's not on us. If KuCoin, Gate.io, Binance come back to me tomorrow and tells me, yes, I can get you listed, then I'm gonna go and list it as soon as possible. So, or when is the perfect time for the market and for us to do the best option? But once again, it is not on us. So I cannot tell you it's gonna be listed on April, it's gonna be listed on May or whatever. So just want to clarify that. When is the code base? They say will be released in a few days, more than a week ago. I am following up on the developers. I will let you know next week, definitely, when the code base is going to be released. I'm hoping by the project update next week that will be out. But I need to follow up with them. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer at the moment. Horacio Raviolo, yeah, sure, share the examples that you want. If you want, you can DM me on Telegram and give me all those examples. I would be more than happy to do something like that. Koti, I have never heard of Koti. I will add on a note on this. Koti protection. If that will give us some sort of kind of like way for us to evaluate and give a feedback, that would be amazing as well. Yes, guys, don't forget to subscribe so that you will actually get all this information, because from now on I will try my best to do project updates and AMAs here on YouTube. No repurchase any products with BTC and Ethereum. Abdullah Jehad, when I'm saying BTC and Ethereum, I'm just naming the most famous tokens out there. But remember that we are going to be talking, when we talk about our project, we're talking about a lot of other coins that will be available to be traded through our wallet and directly with the merchants that we deal with. But remember, it is a decentralized platform. So that means that our code will be able to be modified for whoever the merchant wants to list the coin or the token that they want to. So if they want to accept Bitcoin, they will be able to accept Bitcoin. If they want to accept the newest token out there, they will be able to do that. So it will be up to the merchant itself. What they will not be able to change is the fee. The fee for the consumer protection will have to be paid in MTOs, and that will, or MEOs when the blockchain comes out, and that will be low. Basically, that will not be able to be changed. Day trading edge, it will be Bitrex or Bitrex in February. We're still closing the deal, but yeah, that should be basically already written. We haven't actually signed the contract, but everything has been agreed, fees and everything else. Even the date has been agreed, but once I will be able to, to share the date once we have signed the contract. Nak Mot, yes, we are planning into releasing the roadmap. At the moment, I actually have we have an idea of releasing 2 different roadmaps. One that will be more project or development based. So that's going to run, for instance, like epochs instead of kind of like specific dates. We're gonna say something like, we are in this epoch and we're working on the following. So you will be able to know where you're at and what's coming, but we will not be releasing like, oh, this is coming on that specific date. Something like Cardano, to give you an example. That we feel is going to be the best way of sharing that kind of information. However, we do need as well to share information about where the project is going and what it's going to be doing in the next I don't know, few months or 2 to 3 months, and that will be, I will call it right now, the roadmap for the marketing. Let's say that roadmap will be updated a lot more often, and it will be basically sharing what's coming in the next maybe quarter or maybe in the next year, depending on what plans do we have already set up. To give you an example, in this case, we will be sharing in the roadmap for the development that alpha test is coming. Question mark. We don't know when, but we are aiming for that to be in 2022. To give you an example, whether we have the marketing roadmap where we say, okay, we're going to start marketing, we're going to work with influencers on January and February. We're going to be listed in centralized exchanges in January and February. We're going to be working with another influencer on February. We're going to be doing YouTube and Google Maps campaign and Google Ads campaign. So those kind of things that is going to be improved. Then on March, once we have more information that we see how the market is doing, we can actually see what worked and what didn't, and then kind of like implement for the next one. I just want to say as well that I have been working in the past 3 weeks already for what to do and ideas on what to do even after February. So March, April, I would say until, I wouldn't say August, but yeah, March and April, I already have something planned for me to do. Again, I'm not going to release it until I actually see what's working, because again, the whole point here is not to spend too much money, because the money is needed for the development of the product and the technology, and most importantly, partnerships. But again, we want to raise awareness of the project to gain more token holders as well. So next question. This was next month. Okay, supports the project by subscribing to the channel. Thanks, Victor. The purpose of a roadmap is not to give exact date, but a time frame and the main stages, so that you're telling me to do here. Yeah, exactly. Mot, it's all about sharing information with you. Remember as well that we, at least since I joined, we are doing bi-weekly or whatever you want to call it, every 2 weeks updates, project updates, because I feel that this kind of project deserves to have that that kind of openness with you, with the community. As you have seen it. Sometimes people say, come for a glimpse and read, oh, the project is going to be ready in 3 years, and they vanish, and they come back and say, why 3 years? They don't go and stop and read on everything. So the idea is to keep you guys as much as they updated as possible with what's going on right now, the issues that we're facing, the challenges that we're facing. What are we trying to do to fix those challenges? You know, those are the most important things that we need to focus on. And these kind of things, they need to be shared quite more often. What we agreed on that tweet is, as I said, every other week to get a project update, which is going to be, we might change that to an AMA and a project update, because again, right now that I'm talking to you in this AMA, I'm still giving you insights and information about the project. So that's kind of like a more, I would say, unofficial way of sharing information details, and then basically the next in the next 2 weeks a project update with your questions answered as well. So that's kind of like how it will be evolving. But again, when we give you a timeline, let's say 6 months or 1 year or something, that doesn't mean that everything will go quiet for 6 months. We're still going to be developing, we are still going to be sharing information with you like we are right now, and we are still going to be giving you that information for you to know every other week. So every other week you will have information from the project, whether it comes to marketing plans, whether it is development updates and all these kind of things. So that's something, again, I wanted to make sure that you guys understand as well. Sounds awesome. Roadmap and announcements are great. Good evening, guys. What did I miss? Chronics, go and rewatch it. Horacio Ravido, yes, you are right. The money that was raised was a lot. But first of all, it is not infinite. That's the first thing I want to clarify. It could be 60, 100, 200 million. It will end up one day. And what we need to remember is that when they set up a soft cap, which was 5 million, if I'm not mistaken, and a hard cap, that is just to give a guideline on how much money the project needs to be developed. To give you an example, if you were to achieve only the soft cap during the ICO, the project most likely would have needed extra funding in between. So it would have been able to start and maybe get all the way to the middle to have some sort of technology to showcase, and by then we would require extra fundings. That's if we would have achieved only the 5 million soft cap. With the hard cap, which was less than the 60 million that we raised, we would have been able to finish that product. So, but we're talking about no marketing, no nothing, not many partnerships, big partnerships. But at that point, once the product is finished, it's easier for you to say, this is what I have. I need fundings from big corporations and big companies that are going to get, the money in, and then you can go and get those partnerships that we need for us to do that. By raising the 60 million that we raised, that means that we don't have that problem anymore in between brackets. Because again, guys, we're talking about big companies' expenses. So to give you an example, let's say we want to get a partnership with a certain company out there. There is money to be spent in there. Sometimes companies like that, they expect you to pay a ton of money to get that thing. Let's say we need something down the line, and I'm just completely making this up. But let's say we need to acquire a company because we need to get something faster, or we need to get a certain user base that will then use our product. Those things cost money, and it's not 1 or 2 millions. We're talking about tens of millions. So it could be like 20 millions just to do an acquisition or just to do a partnership. So that's what I mean here, that certain things we cannot know. And it could be a ton of money. And that's why if we were to spend, 10 or 20 million right now in marketing, yes, we might be able to, to get a ton of new token holders down the door, through the door. The price might be able to rise even, $1, $2, $5. Who knows with that amount of money what we can do. But what's going to happen then? You spent 10 millions, let's say, into this. You got those token holders, which are going to get upset because the project is not developing, because it takes time. And then once you have the project developed, by then the project, the amount of money, the price of the token would have dropped again, because people are impatient. Some people that are joining, they don't care about the project itself, they just care about making money, because that's sometimes what you have here. So what we want to do instead, if we want to get that money focused into the development of the project, Because another thing I want to clarify, if we do marketing now without money, and then the money is not enough to finish the development for whatever the reason, I'm just making this up, it will be very hard for us to get more fundings to complete the project. But once the project is finished and we have it and it's working, then it will be easier for us if we were to finish the money, which again, I don't think it will happen, but let's imagine for absurd that it does happen. Once you have the project complete and finished, it will be easier for you to get more fundings to do the marketing, because you already have the project. You just need to sell it, and it's easier for you to get someone in to finance that part rather than the other side, the other way around. So that's another thing that we want to clarify. This is not a project that is going to be 6 months and it's done. You know, never been, because no one has ever talked about that. But once the project is finished, we do aim to get collaborations and partnerships with a ton of big institutions and entities and companies. We already have a partnership, which unfortunately I cannot share that with you, but we already have a partnership with a company that is listed on the stocks and share. So it is publicly traded. It is big. You know, it has to be big for that to happen. And that partnership is what is going to allow us to attack certain user bases. And it's going to literally give us access to millions and millions of customers. And that's what we're working on here right now. Let me just go and read back again. Influencers, yes, thanks Twitter, keeping the community engaged, requires very regular messages, even so, some are repeated. This is good news. Comes. Yes, Mod, I'm active as much as I can on Telegram. The reason why I'm active more on Telegram than in Discord, I have seen you in Discord and I know you like Discord, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, I just find it way easier for me to communicate there, but we try certain information to be shared as well on Discord as well, but it's just easier. Eventually, to be honest, once the community grows big enough, I'm hoping, and that will be then decided by the community itself. So I'm not going to take the decision myself, but I would love to, this is my idea, I would love to migrate the whole community to Discord, because it's easier, you know, to have different conversations and share certain information, and then maybe leave Telegram just for notifications only. That's again one of my dreams in the future, but at the moment the community, at least the active community, is not big enough for us to do something like that. Also, we have a lot of people that, like me, love Telegram. Is it the exchange? Believe. Yeah, Bittrex is a very good exchange and is a serious exchange. The only thing is that it kind of like fade out from, you know, certain new exchanges that came after that. I think it's because after the publication, if I'm not mistaken, when they came online in 2016, when there was, you know, the 2017 bubble, everybody was kind of like looking and scrutinizing all these exchanges that came out, because there are a lot that came up, literally came out everywhere. And they were very, very highly regulated, which, if I'm not mistaken, they closed for a while or something like that happened, and they lost a lot of user base there. But I mean, they are literally one of the safest out there. So it's actually, I love the fact that you guys are happy with this, because even though the decision, like we have led the decision for certain exchanges to be taken by the community, Bittrex has been taken by yourselves, and we do hope that that's gonna boost, you know, the motivation on the community as well. The strategy is to the problem here is not really, as I was saying, the technology. I mean, it is an issue, you know, and it needs to be developed, and we're working on that. But the main issue here is regulations. So we need to be able to work and bring decentralization to certain merchants. and certain countries and certain regions. So that's the most important thing here. So it will take a long time, and we will be working on that as we go. So we're not saying we're gonna hold back everything and we're gonna release once the technology is finished. We're working right now. We just finished the MVP. The MVP was with the automatic dispute center or management. We are still finishing the manual dispute center. Once that is done, we can start moving into some internal tests. Once those internal tests, which are the tests that you guys will be able to do yourselves, once those tests are finished, we can start working on the alpha test. That doesn't mean we're not going to release the information. We are always going to release that information as soon as possible. Then once the alpha test is concluded, we're going to be working to release the beta test. Once the beta test is concluded, then at that point, it will be easier for us to go and get even more partnerships. And then at that point, I would say, already we're expecting for certain merchants to start using, in a beta test way, our system, because that's how it is going to work. Then remember that we have to migrate it to the blockchain and incorporate to our blockchain. So it's quite a complicated road. There is not just like a straight answer that we're going to do this and that, because in the meantime that we are building the consumer protection, we are also building the blockchain. Then both have to be merged. In the meantime as well, we're building a bridge because that's what the community wants. So all these kind of things. There is not just one simple answer for that. It is something that is going to take time, but we're going to be evolving as it goes. I hope I answered your question on that. Chronics, as I say, I will have more information about it in the next few days. Today's Saturday, Sunday, so I don't want to bother them on a weekend. But Monday will definitely ask that question, and I'm hoping to have an answer by Monday. I have actually the link. I just need to finish a few things to get it ready for you guys to start asking the test MTOs. But again, I think we will release that on Monday, but definitely by next week I'm hoping, but by the project update I'm hoping we will have that code released. How about to absorb new investors to the project? Actually, without new investors the price will not change and rise. We need a more advertising for this project. Hani Mogadam, if you go and check on Telegram, we have a marketing roadmap, I would say. We're going to start on Monday, actually. I have already some deals with some smaller influencers. When I talk about smaller, I'm talking about 20,000 subscribers, 50,000 subscribers, 70,000 subscribers. So it's just going to go around like that. Again, we are literally in a market correction. So it is really important for us not to spend too much money right now in these kind of things, because trust me, they are expensive, and for us to get nothing back, because it would be hard for us to get token holders here through the door when the market is crashing. Nobody wants to invest in a project that they have never heard of when they don't know what's going on. And if they go and check the price chart, they're not going to be much excited about it. So what I want to do is create awareness in certain niches. So to give an example, I have picked certain influencers that we're going to talk about, and for them to start hearing about MTO. I'm not expecting conversion right away, but what I'm expecting is for them to hear, oh, MTO, that sounds good. Then the next time that they hear about, oh, MTO, wow, that sounds good. Then they go the third or fourth time that they hear about MTO and they see that the price starts going up, because maybe hopefully at that point, the market or Bitcoin kind of like has improved, then people are going to start coming back and say, oh, I want to buy. I don't want to lose that train. I don't want to lose that opportunity. But definitely this is what we're doing now. We're trying to create awareness on the project, and hopefully with the two centralized exchanges. So bear in mind that both centralized exchanges, we have chosen packages where they actually do promotions as well. So we are gonna the reason why we chose that is because they target their user base. So that's what we're trying to do when we try to get into a centralized exchange, to attack a user base that they already have. Because it's pointless that I go and advertise, to the world, MTO is going to be listed on Hotbit, but then nobody is using Hotbit, or to give an example, Hotbit is more like Asian countries, so I'm not going to promote that in Europe, because then nobody has Hotbit here. So we need to target certain specific niches, certain specific audiences that are already using Hotbit, so they will be easier when they see, oh wow, I like this project, I have an account in Hotbit, so I'm just going to go and buy some once they list. So that's what we want to do that. And the same will happen with Bytrex, and the same will happen with the next exchange that we're going to list. Hopefully will be Gate.io or KuCoin or someone else moving forward. Knock. I want you guys, I want you to remember that John, it is not a newbie. He has over 20 years experience in the payment industry, and he has dealt with a ton of businesses. He has startups and sold businesses before. So I want to reassure you, and this is what reassures me, that every time I talk with John, he has a clear idea on where we are headed. Sometimes we just cannot share that information for many reasons, NDAs, or we just can't share that information because it is not confirmed, and we don't want to hype certain hopes too high, because then again it comes down crashing. But definitely we are trying. We know where we're going. So that's what I want to clarify to you. And it's the same thing. People have said, oh, Victor doesn't have experience in marketing, which is true. Why is he the CMO? I asked the same question to John, and John said that he needed a person that he knows, that knows what the market is, what the cryptocurrency market is, what the payment industry is, and that has that knowledge to be able to share that information. Remember, hiring a marketing expert is easy. I was told on the chat, you can go and hire this massive marketing agency, which, by the way, we did. We hired one of the biggest marketing agencies in the crypto world, and that's how the ICO happened. That's why the ICO was one of the reasons why the ICO was so successful. But there is also to say that the same marketing agency that promoted basically the ICO did the same thing for the listing in Whitebit. And trust me, guys, that cost a lot of money, and we didn't see any conversion on that. So it's not just money here to be spent, because marketing costs a lot of money. We need to target certain niches. And when I'm talking about these kind of things, there are a ton of things that I didn't know even before I started this job, but I know that. And what I want to clarify here is that I am not just, coming up with ideas myself, or I just go and had a shower and an idea came up and that's what I'm going to do that. No. When I have an idea, I go and sit down with marketing experts, some that are actually hired by HIPS, that work for HIPs, some that are externals, that I get ideas and questions. And sometimes, you know, I get my ideas on the table and we discuss certain things. Then I come up, that's how I came up with a marketing plan, to give you an example. Then we get that marketing plan and I put it on to the core team members, which again is John, who has a ton of experience on this, on the field. And then we say, oh yeah, this is good, this is not gonna work, I think this is gonna be better, we have to twist and tweak this this way or that way, we have to improve the budget for this, we have to decrease the budget here. And then at that point we come up with a plan that when we go and we finish it off, and then we present it up to you. So that's how things works. And that's what I'm saying. There are a lot of concerns out there, and I have seen it recently, which, to be honest, and this is my personal opinion, I feel that we have a group of people that have been targeting MTO because they know it is something that is gonna be huge, but they're trying to, you know, to dollar cost average and buy as much as they can. Because I feel that the same amount of people, the same people that had that started certain kind of, like, I would say, fear or like fad campaigns, they started with one thing. They started complaining about, you know, communication, the fact that HIPs disappeared and that it was a scam. Then once that was cleared, with the communication improving, they moved up to you know, the development. Oh, it is taking too long, you guys don't know what you're doing. And then once the MVP was introduced, it moved to the next weak chain link in this case, and they target myself directly because, again, I don't have a degree on marketing. Yes, I don't have it. That doesn't mean I'm not listening to marketing experts. So my job is to make decisions about the project. My job is not to be the person who does marketing. So I want to clarify that I have decided to do certain things myself, because, again, I feel that right now spending certain money is not gonna be beneficial for the project. But in the future, once we need to hire the biggest marketing company in the world for us to be able to, I don't know, get in touch with huge celebrities, we will do that. Which, by the way, there is in our plans, again, not gonna say dates because there is nothing confirmed yet, but once the technology is listed, is ready, we're also thinking on getting involved celebrities into this. You know, some other projects have done that, and we are planning to do something like that as well, because we want as well then the user base, the more broad user base, to join and to be aware of what MTO or the merchant token is. Another question here, also me, we're waiting patiently for updates on Whitebit. Where can we see any data on CMC and CG? I have contacted them hundreds of times. They are moving the issue from Whitebit to CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. If I complain about that with CoinMarketCap, they will put it on and then it will disappear a few hours later. So again, I cannot say if the problems is from one to the other, but I have asked, I have asked Axel to get involved into that. It's just that, again, we were busy with the MVP, and now we're busy into releasing the code and working on the testnet. So it has been a bit busy on that side, but definitely we're working on having that fixed as well. Well, 50 minutes already. Anything else that you guys want to talk about? Ooh. Sorry, the computer was running out of battery. Chingigati, I think. 3 years might be too long, depending on what you think of, but 3 years, it depends on what you're looking for, because, as I say, first of all, that's a gut feeling. It's not So it is taking in consideration, of course, everything that we have seen so far, and how fast or slow you can see the development is going, and all the problems and issues and challenges that we're facing right now. So that's just what John said, that he thought, he believed that's going to happen. That doesn't mean that we are aiming for 3 years. We're aiming to get that thing ready as soon as possible. But also, again, and I want to clarify that again, it is not going to happen. Okay, no development is going to be shared now, and 3 years, I don't know, the 8th of January 2025 is going to come live. No, it's not going to happen like that. So in a few months, you're going to see more development, and then so on, so forth, and it's going to increase the development, and it's going to come the alpha test, the beta test, then it's going to come basically the first launch. Then we have to get partnerships ongoing, and then we have to get regulations, and then we have to be launched in a specific region or country, and then we have to be launched in another specific region or country, and that's kind of like one where it's going to build and be built. But when John said he has the gut feeling of the 3 years, that's when he feels that the product will be ready and already be able to be used, and maybe have some partnerships ongoing there. So it will be established. That's what we meant when we meant the 3 years. I mean, many top 100 projects need many years as well. Yeah, Chronix, that's completely right. Like, just to give an example, go and check out on ADA on Cardano. It is a huge project, and they're just trying to build a blockchain that exists already. There is Ethereum is there, but still, because they're trying to do something different, it's been since 2017. Cardano was born, if I'm not mistaken. Guys, don't kill me for that. But certain projects just takes time. There is one, like, literally, UTrust to USD. UTrust was mentioned because it's a very similar project to MTO, and I've discussed before. It is completely different because it's completely centralized, but in a certain way it's quite similar, and it does follow kind of like, look at this, they started in 2018, guys, and it's 2022, 4 years, and they still haven't recovered. So just imagine if someone bought $1.12 here, you trust, how would have felt during this period that it was trading at 3 and 4 cents. So I'm just gonna leave you with this, but these are the things that you have to ask yourself. Then here, yeah, it recovered when maybe I don't know, I haven't followed that project, but maybe here we have some releases or technicalities or something like that. But that's kind of like when you start recovering it. But these are the things that I want to share with you as well, because you need to be aware that there are other projects that are working on similar, I would say, not the same, but similar cases, and it takes time. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Sometimes money doesn't speed up the process, because even if you were to put the 100 top best blockchain developers into this project, they are not going to speed up. Actually, they're going to start maybe fighting each other, because they will not be able to make everything work. So these are the things that you have to also kind of like consider. Yeah, exactly, Chronix, that they needed 4 years for the smart contracts on the blockchain. But again, that's something that happened years before with Ethereum. So what I'm saying here is that certain things require time. And the difference as well, and something I want to clarify, Ethereum is a non-profit organization, whether Cardano is a for-profit organization. So it takes longer, even if it is for profit. Sorry guys, I'm still not 100%. Anyway, if you don't, just the last few questions, I will just leave it for another couple of minutes. It's been 53 minutes already. Okay, guys, if nobody has any more questions at this point, I'm just gonna be closing the AMA today. So this link is going to be uploaded to YouTube if you want to follow the app or watch it later on. So if someone here missed it or something, don't worry, it's going to be uploaded later on. Thank you so much for watching, and see you around on the Telegram chat. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.